I need y'all to help me on this. I'm staffing 4:15, so at 4:10, I need y'all to remind me, okay? Putting a lot of trust in your hands, okay? So this is a really important lesson to me, guys, because it's something that you do every day. You might not understand it, but communication is key to all aspects of life, whether it's as a student, whether it's at your job with your boss and your employees, whether in your future down the road, you're gonna have to communicate to your kids. This is really important. Understanding how to speak, how to listen are two skills that you're going to use every day for the rest of your life. Unless you're deaf and blind, unless you're just not fully functional, which I believe all of you are. She might not speak or listen, but she does communicate, and that's a good point. There is other ways of communication, but these are the main two, right? Like you're going to be able to send text, you're going to be able to send emails, smoke screens if you have to, start a fire, wave it around if you have to, pigeon and bird, whatever. But speaking and listening are super important. First off, we're going to go over the characteristics of an active listener. Now, I found 5 key listening techniques that we should apply every day. I'm going to introduce them, and later in the class, we're going to have the opportunity to practice them. Later in the class, like I said, you're going to need 2 pieces of paper. I'll get to that later. We all got 2 pieces of paper, right? Okay. So the first characteristic of being a good active listener. Active is throughout the conversation. You're not turning it on, you're not turning it off. It's throughout the conversation. It's to pay attention. A lot of people will act like they're paying attention and nothing's going on. I could be looking straight at you while you're talking to me, or you could be doing it right now. And it doesn't matter because you might not be paying attention. It's really important. Whether you care what they say, whether you don't care, it's important because you're going to learn from it. Listening is one of those things where it has to be turned on at all times because you never know what you're going to learn. It's an important skill. The second key aspect is show that you're listening. One of the big things with both speaking and listening is body language. If I have someone that I'm talking to, I want them to look at me. I appreciate that. I appreciate if they're sitting around and I'm talking to them. Say I'm right here talking to them. They're doing this. I don't want to talk to them. That's just how it is. You appreciate how they interact with you. It's a communication. It's communicating without speaking. And that's the easiest way to do it. Nonverbal communication is just as important as verbal communication. Because I should be able to know if you're paying attention or not. And that's going to tell me, maybe I need to get their attention. Maybe they have the attention. I need to help them with something else. Body language is a good indicator if you're listening or not. The third one is provide feedback. Reflect on the material. There's going to be some days, if you have a job, if you go to college, there's going to be some lectures where it's way over your head. Believe me, I went to college. There were some lectures. I had an earth science class. It was straight rocks, straight water, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it was over my head. I asked questions, I reflected on the material, and I passed. I stayed through. I actually did pretty well. That class absolutely rocked. It rocked my world. Whenever I needed a question, I would listen to the lecture. And that's all it was. There was no PowerPoint. There was no video. There was no this. It was textbook, your notes. You had a pencil, your notes, your notepad against the world of rocks. Against the science of geology. I had to climb a huge mountain. Everest. My life was tough on me. I'm not gonna lie. But when he would go through the lecture, if I didn't understand something, I would say, Mr. Tidwell, can you help me out with this? Mr. Tidwell, does this associate with this? And he would provide feedback. So I would appreciate that because it shows that I'm listening, and he was willing. He appreciated when you ask questions because it shows that you're listening, that you're paying attention. Yes, ma'am. That's that would revert back to number one. Pay attention. Because if you're talking to your friend, a lot of teachers going on, that's not doing us any good. Now you can provide feedback to her by just talking to her. Oh, okay. It's, if it requires feedback, reflect on it, and give her the best response you can. You might not have all the answers. She might be going through something and you don't have an answer. But that goes back to being an active listener. Just acknowledging help her out. You might not have the best words. You might not be a Sun Tzu. You might not have all. But you should be able to help her by acknowledging her. And that goes back to being a good listener. Not everybody requires a verbal feedback. Some people just appreciate that you're there, that you're acknowledging them, that you're thinking about them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Now, if she's actually your friend, I hope that's your saying. Give him feedback when she requires. So that'd be the best way to provide feedback. I'd be as nice to her as possible, unless you're the mean friend. If you're the mean friend, do what you do. If you're the mean friend, I'm sure you have a response to it. I hope you're not the mean friend. Number four, defer judgment at all costs. Wait till the speaker is done expressing themselves. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we lined up on different sides of the class, and we had an argument about school dress code. We had a role. They were to offer their main point, and you had a rebuttal. At no point was it okay to say, no, that's wrong. No, that's silly. No, that's stupid. You can think it. I'm not saying you have to agree with everything. And you can say later, you can express that. They're all correlated, guys. But defer judgment till they're done because that's respect. Being a respectful listener is key to anything. You might not be listening, you might not be doing this, but if you're respectful at the end, they appreciate you. Number five, respond appropriately. This correlates with deferred judgment, providing feedback, and be paying attention. There's going to be times where you're at your job, and you have to stay, you have a meeting. There is a different department. It's not even your department. They're just going on, going on, going on. You don't want to be there. You're not getting paid enough for this. You're not getting paid. It's not pertaining to you. But you sit through it, show proper body language, provide feedback when you need it, you defer judgment, and when they ask you, what you think about the meeting, what you think about this, what should we do next quarter, how should we fix this problem, you don't say, I don't care. You don't say, that's not my problem. Why would I worry about this? You respond appropriately. You assert your thoughts and opinions with respect. Respect's the main thing with speaking of it. Because I don't respect you. Y'all might not respect me. That's okay. I appreciate that. I can tell by the way you're acting in here, by your body language, by the way you speak to each other, by the way you speak to me. Respect is easy to pick up. It's not one of those things where you can. By being an active listener, respect is intended in all. If you don't respect anything, you're not. If you don't respect the speaker, you're not going to pay attention to it. You're not going to show that you're listening. You're going to be like I was in the chair. You're going to be nodding off. You're going to be looking in space. You're going to see how many specks are on the floor, how many lights are on the roof, right? 252. 300. You're not going to provide feedback because you're going to be in your own little world, right? You don't want to be there, you don't respect them, you don't care what they say. You might not defer judgment. You've already judged them at this point. If you don't respect them, you don't care about them. You've already judged them at this point. You've lost them. And number five is you're definitely not going to respond. Right? If I had my world, if I was Superman, I'll take that. Take that. I was Spider-Man. If I was Spider-Man and Green Goblin. Green Goblin's already taken Aunt May. He's already stolen her MJ. He's already cut me in the heart, stabbed me in the back. And he's going on this epic monologue. He's I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If I was Spider-Man and Green Goblin did all that, would I respond? Absolutely not. I have no respect for him at this point. So, like I said, respect is key to all five of these attributes of a good active listening leads to the next slide. Actually, before I skip to my next slide, I have this scene from a movie. I don't have the snippet because it is not age appropriate for y'all, and I did not get the admission form for y'all. I'm deeply sorry. I really am sorry. So I won't even say the title of the movie for y'all. If you really want to watch it, you can watch it. That's not on me. But there's in this scene, they're going on. Sydney says, I'm listening, but I'm not hearing. Now, usually those are synonyms, right? They mean the same thing. They're both physical things. You can hear something and you can listen to something. But there's a difference. Y'all might be listening to me, but you're not hearing. Hearing me is processing it, is writing it down, is keeping it in your computer up here so you can memorize it. Listening is out this here, out the other way. Hearing is saving it. It's like a computer. You're saving it. You're going to have this file for later down the road. Listening is just, okay, let me do this, let me turn it in. I'm not going to save it. Okay? Move on to characteristics of an effective speaker. You like Taylor Swift? Yeah, some of her songs. You know the Red album? Might have been before your time. Okay. I like Taylor Swift. That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to be a Taylor Swift musical fan. You don't have to be a Taylor Swift. But she does play a role in this. Not only just a picture. She has more of a role in it than that. So, characteristics of an effective speaker play with the characteristics of an effective listener. Number one, biggest thing. And I struggle with this sometimes too. Y'all can probably see it. Confidence. Confidence can be a major tool and can be a major lie. Because some of the most confident people are absolute actors. They really aren't that confident, but they make you believe it. Some of the people in the school might say, "Oh, I'm the smartest in that class. I get good grades. I do this." Truth of it might not be right. You might think, "Oh, they are smart," because they're confident in their work. Football players, basketball players, baseball players. They might not be any good, but they're confident. So you believe them. And speakers are a lot like sports. They might have the worst material. It might be outdated. It might be wrong. It could be all the above. But if I deliver a powerful speech, a beautiful speech, and it's getting all the applause, it's getting people absolutely clapping. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Please come again next week so we can hear you again. You're gonna say, "That's a good speech, right?" When it already absolutely. Confidence is amazing. Being confident in your delivery can act as a covering agent. It really can. It can hide the boo-boos. It can hide the mistakes. As long as you're confident, people are going to believe it's right. Number two is passion. If you're ever going to give a speech on something, you have to believe in it. You have to care for it. Because you're just wasting your time if you're not. If I'm delivering a speech on like, oh, we should protect the polar bears because they are warm and fluffy. I like polar bears. That's not doing anybody any good. If you're giving a speech for the polar bears, you can say, these animals deserve this and that and this. It's going to be a passionate thing because passion is going to steal the audience, just like confidence would. If you don't believe in your subject, if you're not passionate about it, it's a waste of time. Because the audience is going to see it. The audience is going to see the energy. The audience is going to see the passion. And if they don't really believe in you, they're going to see right through it. They're not going to believe in what you're saying. Number three. Nobody wants to sit through a speech. Nobody wants to listen to somebody talking. They're just going all over the place. They want to hear what you need to say so they can give a response on what you need to hear. Being direct, go straight to it. Now sometimes you have to fluff things. But nobody wants to hear the fluff. Be direct, be straight to it. Number four, be engaging. Stories help people associate with what you're speaking about. They help you relate. Good. If you can't relate to a subject, do you want to hear the person talk about it? If I was talking about neurosciences, would you want to listen to it? Now, Paul, you might. And you might be an active listener and you'd be engaging. But if you don't care about it, if people aren't caring about it, they're not going to be engaging. They don't want to hear it. So be engaging. Pull the audience in. Let them cooperate. Let them speak for it. Now, it might not be an open forum, but you got to pull other. You got to find ways to pull people to get them in. Number five, audience awareness. And really, this goes to topic, right? Topic and tone. If my audience, say I was a writer, and I wrote love stories, I wouldn't want to go speak at a function at a NASCAR event, would I? You got to know your audience. You got to know your audience, because if not, it might be a waste. That might be true. They might have that full floor. That's a good point, Paul. That is a very good point. Now, I do have a video. It is a speech of this amazing woman, Taylor Swift. I'd like to watch it. Mm. We might not watch all of it. And this goes to the audience. Do you like Taylor Swift? I absolutely do. Absolutely do. I'm going to listen to her when I get out of work. The 70s Motown. We're gonna watch this clip real quick. We might not watch all of it, but this is going to pertain to confidence. She's going to be passionate about it. She's going to be direct. She's going to be engaging with the audience. And she knows her audience. Someone give me the general audience attention. Young, I'll go young. That's the general audience. So she's going to be speaking to them. She knows her audience, so she's going to speak to them.
It wasn't true. You're seeing all these angles in your own life, and then you compare it to other people's lives, and you don't see what they're going through. You just see the good parts of what they're going through. to you. When you start to compare yourself to other people, please change the channel in your mind to something else. Because I think that when it comes to how we see ourselves, other people are really mean, but we're really mean to ourselves.
How she's engaging the audience with her eyes.
You start thinking like you're not special, or you're not different, or you have nothing important to say. We all feel like that sometimes. What I want you to do right now, remember from tonight, remember what I'm about to say. You need to look into the mirror in the morning and not tell yourself that you're not special, you're not good enough, you're not awesome.
Now notice how she was speaking to an audience. If she was speaking to a bunch of men, would she have used the word pretty? No, she knows her audience. She knows what words associate with the audience. She knows what words they relate to. She understands personally because once upon a time she was a young woman. She still is a young woman, right? So she knows what her audience has been going through. She's able to relate to them. She knows her audience. She plays to it. Like, that was the name of her album. That's actually the year she was born. That was actually the year she was born. So we got a couple more minutes, guys. Focus for a couple more minutes.
I'm going to tell you right now the things you actually are not, okay? These are the things you really are not. You are not the opinion of somebody who doesn't know you.
Engaging the audience.
You are not damaged goods just because you've made mistakes in your life. Going nowhere just because you haven't gone yet.
Letting them interact. She's not the applause.
Now, I want to tell you who you are. You are your own definition of beautiful and worthwhile. That's what you are.
Another one of those words that associate with the audience. Beautiful.
You are someone who is wiser because you made mistakes, not damaged, wiser. Somebody who could be at this moment, right now, sitting there. You are going through whatever you're going through in your life that's stressing you out, confusing you, making you upset. But you got out of bed and you put on an awesome outfit and you came to a concert and now you're having the best time.
We made a believer. We made a Swiftie out of you. So, audience awareness, right? She knew who her audience was. She knew how to relate to them. She was engaging, right? She pointed. She looked at them. She allowed the applause. She wanted to feed them. Direct. Was she direct? She was telling them how she felt. She was telling them she's been through this. She was telling them what they need to think, what they shouldn't think. She wasn't fluffing anything. She was being direct and passionate. You can see it in her face. The tears were swelling, maybe. She was passionate. And you could tell in her delivery and her confidence. And she stuttered. She said once, but that's a given, maybe, right? I don't know if I can have a full speech without saying it. Confidence was there. The delivery was there. And maybe she was scared. Maybe she was absolutely fearful. But you couldn't tell in that video, could you? Absolutely. Now, that leads us to an assignment. I've gathered some readings. Now, we might not have time to do all of them. And that's okay. We can go on to the next class. We might not be able to do all of them. In fact, we're just going to do the short ones. This is what I want you to write on your paper. Okay? Let me go back. So I'm going to get two of you. I got two volunteers. Now, all of you are going to have to go. Eventually, you're going to have to go. So you might want to knock it out. You might want to wait till the last minute. Kylie and Drew. Beautiful. Okay, you'll get your shot. I promise. Get zero. Okay? You'll get your promise. On one piece of paper, you, the rest of you, hey. Actually, you're going to have to do this too. You're going to do it for each other. We're going to have a ruler. 5 points because 5 is the number of the day. 5 is the number of the day. We are creating a ruler. So number 1, is the speaker confident? Number 2, is the speaker passionate about what they're speaking? Number 3. Okay, I'll wait. Let me know when you're good, Megan. Let me know when you're good. Do what you got to do to be okay. Are they engaging? Are they using their eyes? Are they letting people reflect? Are they looking into the crowd? We're going to skip the rest. Throughout the rest. Just put it. They can be out of order. And are they aware of who their audience is? Now, in these readings, you're not going to be a general population. These readings are meant for certain people. Okay? One of them is by Mussolini. If you don't know who Mussolini is, in history class, they'll go over Mussolini, and he might be an unsavory character, to say the least. But he gave this speech for his country. They were fired up about it. They were passionate about it. They were willing to go to war. So, one of them, I'll let them do rock, paper, scissors for it. One of them is going to do Mussolini. And y'all are going to be transported back and act like the people in his country. Paul, you're not in it. Let him focus. So, Kylie's going first. Kylie is Mussolini. So that means you are the people within his country. Off what he is reading, how he delivers it. He has an Italian accent. The delivery part is good. The passionate part might as well be a 5.
Please don't do that. I was gonna do the mannerism, but I can't do it.
Go ahead, passionate. So we're going to listen. We're going to be active listeners. That's the only way you're going to be able to read this is if you are active listeners.
Fighters of land, sea, and air, black shirts of the revolution and the legions, men and women of Italy, of the empire and the kingdom of Albania, listen! The hour destined by fate is sounding for us. The hour of irrevocable decision has come. A declaration of war has already been handed to the ambassadors of Great Britain and France. We take the field against the plutocratic and reactionary democracies who always have blockaded the march and frequently plotted against the existence of the Italian people. Several decades of recent history have made have been summarized by these words: phrases, promises, threats of blackmail, and finally, crowning that ignoble edifice, the League of Nations and 52 nations. Our conscience is absolutely clear. With you, the entire world is witness that the Italy of fascism has done everything humanely possible to avoid the tempest that envelops Europe, but all in vain. It would have sufficed to revise treaties to adapt them to changing requirements vital to nations, and not to consider them untouchable for eternity. it would have sufficed not to begin the stupid policy of guarantees, which have proved particularly deadly for those who have accepted them. It would have sufficed not to reject the proposal of the Führer made last October 6th after the campaign in Poland ended. Now all that belongs to the past. If today we have decided to take risks and sacrifices of war, it is because the honor, interest, and future firmly impose it, since a great people is truly such if it considers its obligations sacred and does not avoid supreme trails that determine the course of history. We are taking up arms. After having solved the problem of our continental frontiers, we want to break the territorial and military chains that confine us.
Are you all fascists now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I should be able to. I told you 10 minutes. I gave you 10 minutes of leeway. I appreciate you reminding me of the meeting. So let's go. Was the confidence there? Go ahead, Paul. His portrayal. And now 10 confident. So he was confident, right? Passionate. How did you tell he was passionate, Miss Hall? He yelled. His fist slamming. But that engaged you more in the speech, right? Yes. It made you pay attention, right? Almost aggressively. And that's what he's going for. He's getting his people ready to go to war, to go fight. Now, if we were going to war and he would have given the speech, you're not ready for that, right? You're not. What am I doing here? You're not ready. It's got to be aggressive. It's got to be almost violent, right? Because that's what war is. It's violent. He was preparing his people for war. Was he direct? He stated the problem, right? Okay, why would you say no, Paul? Okay, well, you can explain that in your movie. Now, other people might have seen it differently. So that's why everybody's going to remember. You might see something different. That's okay. That is okay. He was engaging, of course, right? And he got all of the attention. Audience awareness. Now he's speaking, you are his country, right? You are the civilians in his country. He knew his people. He knew what he had to do for his people, right? You have to get them ready for war. Do you feel ready for war after that? More ready. Well, I'm not saying let's go get a gun, let's go. You know what I mean? Would you be more ready for war if you endured that speech? So all in all, confidence was there, passion was there, directiveness up to interpretation. Paul solved it. Engaging and audience awareness. So all in all, that's a good speech, right? Good. That was good mannerisms by the speaker. It got the message to the people, correct? That's a good speech. That's correct. That was an effective speaker, an effective speech. Okay? True. I'll let you pick. Wordsworth? Yeah, you can just put it. Now, this is to a different audience. We're not going to war on this one. War of the heart. We'll find out together. Understand this. You're a different audience right now. You're not fast asleep. So, I would see this as just a regular poacher beef. Be able to let him consume you in his words. He'll deliver. Go ahead, Drew.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 I saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils.
What else? Yeah, snap it up if you want to. Go ahead. Now we're going back to the river. Got your pencils ready. Got your thinking caps on. You had your active listeners, active listening ears on, right? Y'all received it. Okay. There's the confidence there. How could you tell the confidence was there? Tone, voice. What about his posture? Was he slumped over? Was he sitting down? He was ready, right? The posture speaks a lot. Passion. Now this is a different type of passion. Because with the Mussolini, it needed that aggression. It needed that violence to show that passion. On this one, it's a softer tone. It's a softer audience. Mussolini was getting ready for it. This isn't getting ready for it. But was he passionate with it? And how could you tell? The steadiness of it, the steadiness, the smoothness of it. It was a smooth read. It delivered was smooth. It didn't need the aggression. Was he direct? He was direct with it, right? That's why we're not gauging on the poet. We're not gauging on the literature. We're not gauging on the speech. We're gauging on the speaker. Was he engaged? How could you tell? Anybody else? This one was harder to get the audience into it, right? It's just a different feel to it. This one was, whereas the Mussolini one was to a broad audience, a lot of people, right? This one could almost have been speaking casual conversation. Five. Y'all were the audience of poetry. You didn't have to get y'all. Did he? I didn't, right? So did he know the audience? Now, if you would have come out screaming and yelling, would that have spoke to the audience? No. So if it was a poetry read, you don't want to raise your voice, right? You want to be as smooth, right, as possible. You want to be easy going. Now, if the poem calls for a heavier tone, then you deliver it. But this didn't call for it. So I got 2 minutes, guys. I got to get to that meeting. So again, we're going to wrap it up. Now we will go on with this. 2 of y'all are going tomorrow. And then the next day we're going to start writing our speeches. I have a couple of topics. I'm going to let y'all be individual with it. So you're going to be able to be confident in what you do because you're going to enjoy the topic, right? You're going to be able to have passion in what you do because you can pick it. You're going to be able to be direct. We're only doing 3 to 5 minute speeches. We're not doing 20-minute lessons, okay? We're not doing epilogues or monologues or whatever you want to call it. We're going to be direct, 3 to 5 minutes. Get some of them, we're going to be able to go. Be engaging. Not everybody might like your topic, but find a way to pull them in, okay? Your audience. The audience is going to be wide-based because it is a classroom. So be able to pull them and be able to relate to them. Be thinking of that. Be thinking of a topic. We'll finish up with the next two poems tomorrow. We'll start writing, okay? It's been fun. Nice to see y'all.
Ready?